So almost every contractor I talk to says the same thing when I ask about the lead sites. It used to work and then it didn't. Is that what you hear too?
Yeah, every week. It was good, then it went to shit. And most guys blame themselves. And most guys blame themselves. Like they lost their edge or timing. They didn't. The thing changed underneath them on purpose. Let's walk through exactly how. Because once you see it, you can't unsee it.
Yeah, and it's not like somebody handed you a memo when it changed. You just felt more of your money going out and getting less and less.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right, Dan. So be straight with me. Did the sites actually used to work, or are you guys remembering it better than it was?
No, they did used to work. And I'm not going to say that they didn't. Um, Lots of us made plenty of money using these things. But the thing that messes with our heads, and everybody's heads, multiple contractors that we talk to, is because when it stops working, they assume that it's them.
I
But
see. Yeah.
it ended up just moving, the money just started moving towards the system, the engine that was actually running and working the way it was meant to work. So it's like bait and switch almost.
So what changes? What changed when that happened?
What ends up changing is that they start feeding you jobs and it seems to be working out. You're just getting started, you're getting leads in, you're talking to a few people. You don't really realize that you are racing against a bunch of other trucks, and you're landing some. And then all of a sudden, the more leads you come in, the less you end up getting. Those leads shared to five other contractors. So you got five guys that are getting sold to the same homeowner. And at first, you're landing a few because you're getting started. But you start realizing that you're missing more and more, and they close, I don't know, I mean, 8 out of 10 of those jobs aren't even like, they're not good. So you're
Okay.
barely closing 20 to 30%.
So it doesn't just depend on how good you are at talking to a customer. The reality is what changes is they start off giving you leads that maybe even exclusive leads possibly, but then very quickly turns into every customer, every lead that comes in is being sold not just to you, but to five other contractors, sometimes more.
Oh yeah, I mean, and sometimes more. It just it depends on, I guess, how much that company wants to sell to contractors. I mean, five or more is very average,
Okay.
and
So ultimately their business model is based on the fact that they make more money the more contractors they sell that same lead to without you all necessarily understanding that the end user being the contractor, not understanding that you're going head to head with six other people for that same exact customer.
oh yeah, that's exactly the business model. You sell five contractors, as many as you possibly can, to one homeowner.
So when it comes to the actual contract or the actual bids themselves, it isn't a question of whether or not you've taken a step off your game. It's just a question of racing to get to that lead then.
Yeah, who's ever first, and whoever comes in at the lowest.
Well, and
Unfortunately.
I mean, I wouldn't want to be the guy that called the customer the fourth and fifth time because at that point you got to be pissing them off, right? I mean, you're literally as a customer, you just paid to get spammed, effectively.
Oh yeah, I mean, how many times have you looked into something and you put in a request because something was interesting to you and you got 100 phone calls, and it just gets tiring and worn out. Uh, I got a really good story for you, actually. Um, we're doing ads for our company for us only. So homeowner picked us out of the group, but she's been putting information out there and trying to talk to contractors on all these other platforms.
Okay.
And she got so drowned out by contractors calling her from the other platforms. She had I don't couldn't tell you, probably 20 contractors call her, and she clicked on our direct ad,
Oh,
and
geez.
she hit our ad last. So she was already upset and pissed off at every contractor with a truck by the time we even got to her. Didn't even realize that it was our direct company ad that she looked for.
I'll be damned. So when you're out there, say from a customer side, from a consumer side, when I'm seeing these ads pop up that the lead generation companies are using, maybe I know, maybe I don't know that information is just being broadcast, being shotgunned out to and that you, maybe I know you as a contractor, but you're just one of six. I don't necessarily know that it's being shotgunned out to 20 other trucks like she experienced.
Yeah, yeah, and a lot of the homeowners don't realize that. They don't realize that they're getting sold, and they got charged for it too. They got charged a little tiny bit of money to be able to even acquire and ask for the job, and put that in. Um, and they don't realize that they're being sold to so many people.
Gotcha. So what I'm hearing you say is when I, as a contractor, sign up with one of these companies, what's really happening is I'm paying full price just like everybody else, but the site's already sold it 4 other times before I even dial. Do I have that right?
Yes, 100%.
So beyond the fact that split 5 or 6 ways out of every 100 leads that you buy that you're paying for, you might be getting in front of 15, maybe 20 of those. What's the stuff that really gets under a contractor's skin?
Yeah, you're paying to be 1 out of 6. But I'll tell you a quick story. So I was using one of these shared leads platforms a long time ago. Uh, we're doing good in business, and we wanted to grow. So how else to grow? Get in front of more people. Word of mouth was doing great, so we wanted to expand. We started paying for these shared leads. I was getting calls that were disconnected phone numbers. I had paid for that.
Mm-mm.
Couldn't couldn't reach out to anybody and get my money back, but I paid for a disconnected phone call. I
Gotcha.
also paid multiple times reaching out to a homeowner that just had questions that they could have received answers from Google. I paid for that lead. These are a
So
dime a dozen.
you paid to be Google? Are you kidding me?
I paid to be Googled. Exactly.
That's awesome. That's ridiculous.
I like the way you put that. So, you think about it, and you're paying for a name that one might not even exist. You pay for a name of somebody that's not even looking to get work done. You
Gotcha.
only get, you may be able to get in front of 30% of your paid leads. Not close, get in front of 30%.
Just even actually contacting a customer, actually getting to communicate with somebody, real somebody on the other end.
Yeah.
Now, let's back up just a little bit. You said something and I didn't really catch. So, because this brings up the question, what happens if you pay for a bad lead, one of these job sites? What do you have to do? What happens if they take your money and what they gave you was garbage?
I mean, good luck trying to get your money back. I mean, there's nobody to talk to. You get a runaround trying to get it figured out, trying to prove it. I mean, good luck. You're better off just not wasting your time. You're going to spend more time trying to get reimbursed on that than you are going to be just getting out there and getting in front of people. You know,
Yeah, well, yeah, using all that spare time you have as a contractor, right?
yeah. Imagine the spare time you're taking just to make those bogus phone calls. By that time, you're already done pissed off, and you're like, I'm just going to go out and hand out my business card to people at the grocery store. It's doing the same thing.
So you paid for a lead, you got a bogus lead, which you spent your time on. So you spent your money, you spent your time, and now you're going to spend your time again trying to get reimbursed, trying to dispute the lead with the lead gen company.
You got it, man. And
Yeah,
everybody's,
I could.
everybody,
I feel
everybody,
frustrated, and I'm not the contractor.
And
I mean, really.
when you got a better chance of getting a job at the grocery store with a business card than you do paying for freaking paid leads, I mean, that's telling.
That it is, yeah, that is, and that's something that a contractor doesn't necessarily learn. That's a lesson that they don't learn unless they've actually tried it, right? So when we look at the actual sites themselves, it sounds to me like the homeowner, not you, but who's the actual customer to the site? Who's the real customer when it comes to these sites?
We are the customer, but we're not treated like the customer. The homeowners, it pays $20, maybe $5. Who knows? Who cares? I've never been the customer, um,
Hmm.
really, but actually, I am. That's the thing. It's confusing.
Yeah.
I'm the customer, not my customers. Why am I paying more than the homeowners are? They're paying whatever it is. Say it's $5. Who cares? It's cheap. They pay $5, but six contractors paying $100 for that lead. That's $600. We are the customers, and all they're doing is putting us on the shelf to sell us like a product.
So ultimately, it comes down to your they're selling to you as a contractor, as opposed to the customer being the end user, the person who needs something done on their house.
Exactly. Exactly. We are the customers, not our customers.
And you know what? I love the story that you told earlier about the customer looking you up the second time on the site. And again, that's one of those situations where obviously this was your customer; they had worked with you before. Can you just touch back on that situation? What happened the second time that owner looked you up through the site?
You've got a reputation that's built on their platform. These homeowners can go in, they know that you're there, they can go and look you up. You get the review that's placed on their platform, so you look good for the platform, and the homeowners can find you. That's what the homeowner knows. And if the contractor doesn't kind of do his part and build that relationship, which is fault of customer, I mean fault of contractor, um, that homeowner is going to go back on that platform to find the contractor again. You following me?
Okay, so you end up as a contractor. If that customer doesn't reach out to you directly, you're paying for that customer twice. You've already acquired a customer. You've already satisfied them. They're happy with you, but they're paying to see you again, and you're paying to see them again.
Exactly. Now,
It's like a really bad dating site.
so it's not completely the platform's fault because, like I had mentioned, it's kind of the contractor's fault for not building the rapport, handing the business card, and following up and keeping a relationship and building
Gotcha.
that with the homeowner so they don't have to go back to the site. But at the same time, the site's definitely going to take advantage of the fact of selling that homeowner to the same contractor again.
Well, yeah. Why wouldn't they? And not just to you. If your customer comes back into that system, aren't they going to get the same? They're not going to find you. They're going to find you as one of six, right? They're back to the same situation they started.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. They'll see the reviews on that platform, but and maybe they don't even remember because all you are is wallpaper at this point. So you look like every other truck. And if this guy's done, some plumbing work and had some electrical stuff done and had a gardener over and they getting all their contractors from the site, they don't remember who came when and what.
So that's a symptom of the site itself owning your review effectively. They own that reputation that you've built because it's at that site. So when that customer comes back to look for you, they're actually coming back to that same site. Effectively, you are paying again for your own satisfied customer.
100%. And that's not, yeah. So you're renting your business in a sense, right? You're renting it by paying this yearly subscription plus the leads from this site that as soon as it's gone, that's wiped out. You're all your information, all your good reviews. The homeowners aren't seeing you anymore, and you built that entire reputation on their platform.
Okay. Okay, but in reality though, isn't that just what advertising is? I mean, you pay some leads are duds. That's marketing. Everybody eats that, right?
Okay, okay, all right. Let's just hold on here real quick. Yeah, marketing, you're only going to get a certain percentage.
Right.
You're right. That is marketing to a point, but it's not marketing when you're renting your business and your reputation and racing to five or six other trucks, lowering your numbers, and then having it all erased. If it's
Gotcha.
not working out, you find out that it's
Okay.
not working out. That's not marketing, dude. I don't even know what that is.
Well, okay. So the difference really is what you were talking about earlier. It's that you have when you own it, your advertising, when you go out and pay for your own advertising, that advertising isn't selling your customer to you and five other trucks. It's just for you. So that's the difference then.
Yeah, yeah. When you are working on representing your company and you're placing your reviews on your business, that's owned by you. That's not rented.
Gotcha. So not only are they selling your reputation back to your customer, but they're renting it back to you as well. So for them, it's a win on both ends. The more they do that, the more customers that they get. Customers being in this case you, not the end user. The more that you become the customer.
Yeah, it's the casino effect. The house always wins. You know what I
Gotcha.
mean?
House, yeah.
And they feed you a couple of wins, they get you going, they get you happy, they start liquoring you up, and all of a sudden you're broke and you got less money than when you showed up with. You don't even break even.
So I got you. All right. So now that's a pretty good analogy because that is what this feels like as you're describing this is what it feels like, right? Is you it's every once in a while one of those pulls pays off, and that just keeps me coming back to your casino. But ultimately, the only person, the only entity, the only thing that's actually winning here is the house.
That is absolutely correct.
So Dan, earlier you mentioned what happens to your contractors' reviews on these sites.
What happens to them as far as when you find out what's really going on and you figure out that the house is the winner and you're playing against the casino, um, they're gone. You stop paying for it and they're like you never existed. Renting it and them holding your business as collateral almost. Or you continue to pay me, or I'm going to wipe everything you've been doing for however long you've been paying them for leads. So you're being seriously like held hostage because now you go, I've got years, maybe years that you've been working with these companies and paying for these lead sources to go. You're not going to have any history and
Mm.
try and find your customers again, or whatever that takes, right? Or you just continue to pay.
So as long as you pay, that history, those real jobs, real homeowners, your real customers that you've satisfied, stay connected to you and they can find you. But that reputation exists nowhere else but on this actual site. It's on their profile.
Yep. Because they're not building up your business, they're building up their reputation. Their reputation of, oh, we've got great contractors on here. Come and check us out and see who we have. Right? They're not building that reputation for you.
So effectively, your good name literally only exists there where a customer can see it as long as you're paying that invoice, as long as you're paying that site.
Exactly. Exactly.
So when again, this kind of brings me back to the whole question. it, is this working for anybody? I mean, is what you know the problem really to me is, does anybody make this work?
Okay. And we had made mention, and we've talked a few times now, right? And, I made mention, very slightly that yes, it does work. You know, I think at the beginning I said it does and then it doesn't, right? And then it went to shit.
Mm.
Well, some guys still do use it and they're kind of okay with it. They know it's a rat race. They know that you got to do this and you got to do that. And they just kind of learn to deal with it, right? And they will make good money and they continue to do it because if they weren't, they'd be totally like, screw this, I'm out of here. And they would cut their losses. I mean, any smart person would, right? But
Yeah.
look at it from a totally different lens here. If you got to put all that effort into it to be
Mm.
able to race against five other guys, do other forms of advertising, because if you put all your eggs in one basket, I mean, you're really being held hostage at that point. And the guys that are making it work are diversitizing how they're getting in front of their homeowners. But that's even more work because now
So effectively, what you're saying is
go ahead.
it only. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but so what you're saying is it only works because they're forcing it to work. They're making it work.
Absolutely, they're putting more manpower on dealing with all of these leads because you're going to get a lot of them. You're going to get all kinds of phone calls. You put somebody on the phone to be able to answer and call because me as a contractor and anybody else for, God's sake, you want to be sitting on the phone for hours out of the day calling tire kickers and finding out that you got freaking wrong phone numbers or disconnected lines? No, we don't have time for that. So you got to put somebody on to be able to do that. So you can find the one or two
Mm.
homeowners that are good.
And like a lot of companies out there, the reality is they only treat you that way. They only treat you like a customer as long as you're paying the bill. So effectively, that doesn't sound like an incentive. It sounds like a leash to me.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, collateral, right? Holding hostage.
So instead of being your reputation, your reviews, being the catalyst that would bring you more customers, as it would be if it was your reputation and you controlled it, effectively it's being leveraged against you.
Yeah, yeah, it totally is. Because as soon as you stop, it's all gone.
So I'm looking back at my notes here, Dan, and throughout this conversation, despite you being one of 6 trucks that these leads are sold to, despite some of those leads just being absolute garbage, not leading to anybody, and despite the fact that even if you get a hold of that lead, you do that job, you get a satisfied customer, they give you a rave review, they are a raving fan, that reputation, that review is held hostage by the lead gen company, and is leveraged against you to make sure that you keep hiring them, you keep coming to their site, you keep paying them. It breaks it to break it all down. After we say all that, isn't it true though? Some guys still make it work. Is that right?
Yes. I'm not going to tell you everybody loses money. So if any of that sounded like your last few years, you're not the problem. And you're not imagining it. There's a full training that lays out how these sites really work and what a different setup looks like. Watch it whenever you got time. The link is below.
All right. Next time, here's a question that eats it, guys. If the sites are this rigged, why would you stay? Turns out there's a good reason, and it points straight at the thing that nobody's really built. Let's call it the third option.